We are doing a full tutorial on Grok 3. We're going to show you how to set it up, and we're going to give you some use cases that you can take advantage of. It's an insanely powerful new AI that, again, had a brand new model released. And I got to be honest, it's leaving a lot of its competitors in the dust. This thing is insanely powerful, has very limited restrictions, and has all of X behind it, where you can even do deeper and further research, never like you did before. So stay tuned and build along with us. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. The first thing that we're going to do is actually go and log into Grok. There are two ways you can log into Grok. You can either type in grok.com and get in there, or you can go to X directly. For a lot of you out there that are not using X, I actually recommend it if you're getting really into AI. The reason being is a lot of the people that have programmed AI or developing AI, and even developers, usually hang around in X more so than any other social media. And I got to be honest, some of them share really good insights, and more importantly, they give you like code snippets, prompts, and things that you can use with the AI that you're leveraging, whether it's ChatGPT, whether it's Claude, whether it's any of the ones that we've showed you, even Gemini. A lot of the programmers that develop these things are hanging out at X. Now, we're going to go in, and I'm going to just go ahead and go to X. And in here, you're going to notice that you can either, one, create an account. You can use your Google or your Apple, or you can just go ahead and sign in if you have an account. I have an account. I'm going to go ahead and sign in, and I'm just going to sign in. Now that I'm logged in, you're going to notice that I have Grok on the left-hand side. I'm going to click in Grok. Once you click in Grok, this is one of the ways you can do that. But let me open up the other way so you can see it also. If you come in here and you hit the plus sign and you type in grok.com, you will go to the standalone option, which is in here. And again, same as before, you come in here, you sign in. It's going to ask you to log into your X account, which I recommend you do, because if you want to have conversations that are existing in both, you can go ahead and do that. The other thing that you can do is also download X to your phone and then just use Grok directly from your phone, and it'll give you the same access. So see, a little bit of a different screen. This has more of like your other X components inside of here. I actually like this version a little bit better because this is going to be the same version you kind of have on your phone. But the reason why it's a little bit better is the history happens to have images, bookmarks, and a couple of other things. And it has focus mode, which gives you, again, the in-depth kind of feel, but it's more interactive. And then you have this version right here, which again, already has it. Now you're going to notice that the only difference in here in the history, it's not really divided by the chats and the images, which is why I kind of like this version a little bit better. And you're going to also notice that this thing is in beta, but I got to be honest, if this is beta, I'd be kind of really scared on what the actual finished product is. The other thing is, like, when you go into the normal Grok, grok.com versus x.com to get into Grok, you're going to notice that there is apparently a super Grok. Now, again, super Grok gets you faster and I guess more capabilities. And I got to be honest, I'm really curious because I think it's $30 a month for that version. And this one right now, as long as you have an X account, this is free to use, which again, compared to some of the other things that you're paying for, could be a bit of an advantage. And it's kind of, again, how smart it is. And I'm going to show you all the different use cases. This thing is pretty insane. So if you go over to the left, again, this is going to be the version we're using it. We're using the version that's in x.com. And again, if you want to go back, you just hit the X and you go back in here. But for now, let's just go ahead and hit the focus mode and let's explore a little bit of what's going on in here. Now, it can read a lot of documents as far as attachments that you can add to your prompts. It can do deep research, which again, the main difference here in the deep research versus everything that's existing right now is that it has the entire database of X to search through. Now, as you heard me mention right at the beginning of this, X is the home for a lot of the developers and the people that are working on AI, and a lot of other companies that big corporations hang out at. They just favor X for whatever the reason is to do a lot of their posts on updates and everything else. So the fact that it not only has the absolute database of all of X, it also has everything else that other LLMs have, like ChatGPT, and it has for Claude and so forth and so on. The other big difference and kind of the big differentiator between this and the other ones is that there is no data limitation. It doesn't stop at 2023. It actually has data up to this date because it searches the internet for viable content that it believes is true and factual to the best of its abilities in order to do that. The other thing is this thing is pretty unfiltered. It does not really have any caps or regulations at the moment in time of this video. Now, the crazy part about this is it does have a deep research that does rival Pro and ChatGPT. And I got to be honest, it is very similar. The deep research here happens to be a bit faster by like definitely a lot of seconds. And again, it has more up-to-date data. And on top of it, it has all of X behind it. So you're talking about all the influencers, all the programmers, everybody that hangs out in X, it is able to pull that information through. And I'll show you some examples as we go through. Now for coding, this thing is pretty awesome. I have used this in a couple of examples where it's pulling a lot of coding data and it is really, really good. And it's able to code at a very high level, and where it's actually completing with Claude 3.7, which again, incredibly impressive. And the think mode is pretty powerful also. Again, it is definitely competing against o1 inside of ChatGPT. Now, we're going to go through all of these and we're going to show you some use cases. And again, by the end of this, I want you to be like an expert in understanding how you really want to take advantage of this tool in its entirety, so then you have an idea of how to make it work. Hey, we want to interrupt this video for a quick little minute to just let you know that I hope you're enjoying this video. We want to thank you for being here, but more importantly, we are hoping that this content helps you do whatever you're trying to do inside a high level. We also want to let you know that you have options to get additional help. We offer a $197 a month VIP coaching program that includes 4 days of office hours, first come, first serve, with Andy or myself, where we go in and we answer any of your questions that you might have live with a group setting for other people that are also working in high level. We also have a VIP group where we answer questions directly one-on-one with anybody posting in that group to give you the absolute best support. It also comes with a bunch of other features, including our funnel brick system, our little mini course, and more importantly, a couple guides that'll help you through this, and also including our SOP library that we use for pretty much everything inside of our agency. So thank you for this quick little minute, but more importantly, go back to the video, get whatever you need, and if you have any questions that we can answer inside the video, just drop a comment on the video and we'll make sure to answer whenever we get a chance. And now back to the show. So first, let's understand that when we're creating a prompt for Grok, what's the best way to do it? Now, believe it or not, I've been going back and forth with Grok and using the knowledge that I have with other prompt making to come up with very specific kind of goal-oriented things in the way you should do it, right? So first and foremost, you want to be clear and specific. Avoid vague language or ambiguous language. Clearly define what you are asking and so provide a precise response. For example, instead of saying, tell me about space, explain how black holes come from. So again, not the overall vague thing of what I'm asking, but very specific. The second thing is state your goal explicitly, right? Meaning, let me know what you're trying to achieve. This helps me tailor my responses to your purpose. Now, the fact that I asked Grok to do this, it came back with some pretty good ideas, and then I actually gave it some use case examples. Second is, if you want me to use a particular resource like web search, scientific databases, or even specific files, mention it. This ensures I focus on the right information. The second is set the desired tone and format, specifically how you want the response delivered. Do you perform a formal explanation or a casual chat, a concise summary, or a detailed breakdown? This helps me match your expectations, and then follow up if needed. If my initial response is exactly what you're looking for, refine your prompt with more details or clarify your intent. I'm here to adapt and improve on your feedback. All right, so then it gave me a couple use cases. So again, I'm preparing a presentation on renewable energy trends in 2023. Can you provide a summary of the latest advancements in solar and wind power from reputable sources like International Energy Agency or recent news articles? Please include key statistics and keep the tone professional in a concise format. So it kind of hits the whole entire thing about being clear, specific, stating my goal, mentioning the specific tools that I want them to search, and then state the desired tone and the format, meaning concise, and I want it to be professional. So I'm going to copy this, but I'm going to make a change to show you that this thing is not limited by 2023. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go 2025, and I'm going to add news articles. Also, a little comment here. Also, please search X posts on this matter. All right, because I want to have, if there's any energy experts talking about this, that I want to have the complete format in this, right? And I'm going to put concise format, include graphs if you can. Now that I modified it a little bit, I am going to switch it over from think to deep research because I wanted to do the whole pulling of all information, and I want you to see how it's doing it, right? So I'm going to go ahead and hit the go button, and here it is. It's starting to think, and you're going to start seeing it give it bullet points of like the instructions. Now it's going to resources and it's checking all the different websites that I asked it to check. And now it's going for the latest development. It's walking through the entire process. And so far it's pulled 20 resources. And I guess I'm not seeing it pull from X, but we might want to go back and modify it so it focuses on X.com, right? Now, as it's going through, I think this is really cool. Imagine having a research assistant that's doing all this. I also want you to notice that it keeps on pulling more resources to ensure whether or not this is going to be the best product that it can be, right? Now it's browsing X. I don't know if you guys can see that. And it's increasing the 33 web pages, now 7 posts. And again, it's going back and it's going as late as 2024, right? And it keeps on going 2025, as you can see everything that's going on here. And now it's evaluating these responses. Again, gotta be honest, it's taken so far, it's been 58 seconds, it's been complete. Now let's go at this. Look at this. not only does it provide the solar advances, reaches efficiencies, wind power advances, global trends. Now, again, I'm not an expert in any of this, but this is pretty cool. And it even has the X posts of people to follow that, again, are very into this particular thing, along with the websites that it's pulling information from. Now, again, key statistics on solar, then it's got wind, then it's got this whole global trends and everything else. And it presented, couldn't give me a graph from what I'm thinking pretty much, but it does have this kind of all represented in a table, right? Now, again, I pushed it by asking that because I didn't think it was going to develop a graph, but holy smokes, that is pretty powerful right here. Now, if we go back to some of the other key examples, right? Let's go back and let's talk about creative writing, right? Now we have, I'm writing a fantasy novel about a hidden magical forest. Can you suggest 3 unique plot twists and describe 2 main characters, a mischievous elf and a reluctant hero? Keep the tone adventurous and imaginative and provide detailed descriptions. This is going to be pretty cool. So again, I'm going to come over here, I'm going to copy it, but this time instead of deep research, because I'm not researching anything, I'm going to go to think, and I'm going to go ahead and paste this. Right? And it's going to do the same thing. It's thinking about whatever it's doing. Now, mind you, when we did this in ChatGPT at the Owen model, the speeds are kind of a little bit faster here than they were in GPT. And I got to be honest, I just like the responses here a little bit better. It was a little bit more creative when we were first testing this out. It gave us a lot more than kind of ChatGPT. GPT shortened the information, made it super concise. So it didn't really give it a lot. Here we saw that it was much longer. It had a little bit more depth to it, and it had a little bit more of an imaginative like kind of role to it, which I thought was really cool. Now, again, I'm not going to read through all this, but you have the forest is alive and watching, the elf's mischief hides a tragic past, the forest is a gateway to another realm, the 2 main characters, elf, Sly, the thorn whisperer, and the personality, the abilities, the quirks. Then you have the reluctant hero and bring it all together in the plot twist and everything else. And I can probably say, write chapter 1, right? Chapter 1. All right. And let's just see how it does and kind of going through here. And it's going to develop a particular chapter. So it gave me a couple, like it wanted, I guess, a little bit more questions in going through this. And it says, I'm excited to help you with your request of writing chapter 1 of 25 since your instructor is quite open-ended. Again, now it's asking for more details because I was pretty vague. Do this with the elf story and characters you created. All right, let's see if I give it just a little bit more. I don't want to get too into the weeds of this, but then obviously if I'm creating a book, it would probably be something a little bit more manageable. Now here we go. Now we have a full chapter. Notice it doesn't really hold back and it keeps going into good written. Again, super easy to follow. We can ask them to make it longer, shorter. And again, we can go through it. And again, it's going to be chapter 1 of 25. So now you can write your own book kind of thing with the input that you've always wanted to have in here, which I thought was pretty cool. Now let's go back and let's keep going down the use cases. All right. So if we go all the way back up, and again, I haven't hit any limit so far, which is pretty cool. Now, this is pretty cool. I'm setting up a home Wi-Fi network, but keep getting no connection error. Can you give me a step-by-step guide in this on Windows 11 PC and a network troubleshooter? So I'm going to grab this right here, and this will be pretty interesting. I'm going to do the think again because I think that falls more in line. And now I'm going to get my own personal home tech assistant. And as you can see, it's pulling up 15 web pages where it went to basically grab the research. And it's now consolidating all of that to give it the best kind of like, here are the step-by-steps based on what it is. I got to be honest, we've done this quite a few times for ourselves, like to answer kind of tech questions and programming issues and even issues with different softwares. And this thing is pretty on point because it searches the internet for relevant posts. Now, again, here we go. Open steps. Look, you got your own technical assistant and you don't even have to pay extra for it right now. So pretty cool that this is all here. It even gives you different shortcuts and everything else, step by step, different tips. And again, you can go back and forth. Hey, I tried that, but this didn't work. And it goes back and forth with you to kind of really get you up there and get you up and going, right? Pretty cool. Now we're going to keep going because then I'm going to show you the last use case, which wasn't mentioned, but I'm going to ask you for an example. And then we're going to actually try to code with this thing and show you how powerful the coding part of it is, right? So I'm going all the way up and language translation. I need to translate French phrase, whatever this means. Please provide an accurate translation and brief explanation. All right, so let's see what it does. And again, just remember the kind of way you want to, do this. It gives you exactly how to do the prompts, and it will include the formula, and we'll ask you to write a formula for the prompt. Like that, you guys can go out there and do this, right? Look at this. It's a lovely little saying that reminds us the joy isn't always about the big wins, like hitting the jackpot or landing a dream job. Instead, it's more about those small everyday moments that put a smile on your face. How cool is that, right? Happiness is in the small things. Pretty cool. Now, I'm going to say, help me now create a prompt to show off your coding skills. All right. Again, I'm going to leave it all spelled wrong. If you guys haven't noticed, I always sometimes do that because I want to see how smart it is when it does that. And plus I can't spell, so it makes it kind of really work together. It makes me a genius when I'm really not. So we're going to go walk through there and we're going to let it do its prompt first. It's going to give me the prompt and then it's going to go right into the coding. And notice again, it is grabbing all the code it feels it needs and it's going to write this thing out, which is pretty darn cool. Hey, we got you covered the prompt. Build a web scraper that extracts the titles, URLs of the latest articles from a homepage of a news website and saves it to the CSV file using Python with the requests and beautiful soup libraries include error handling and ensure CVS. Oh man, I don't even know what half this stuff does. And it goes, why this prompt rocks. Pretty funny that it does that. And how to tackle it and how you can do it. Set up the tools, grab the web page, sample code to get you started, tips on making it shine, why this shows off the skills. Okay, let's make it another example with HTML. We can get this up quickly. All right. Now, the reason we're going to do HTML is HTML, I can just put it into an HTML reader and it should give me a basic site, right? And we'll go to a thing like HTML preview. And anybody that doesn't understand what HTML is, it's basically like web page language. So I can whip up a pretty easy like response just by putting in the code and it'll actually make the code on the left-hand side, right? So we're gonna come back over here. It's gonna go through the details and then it's gonna give me the code just to show you how powerful this thing is. So notice that now it's like, all right, let's make another example with quick setup and to understand. And it writes the entire code, what's going on in here. This is HTML designed to get you up and running quickly with some small features or whatever else. So again, I'm gonna copy this. I'm gonna drop it in here. Again, this is just an HTML code previewer. And look, it has where I can submit your name and it does other things. How cool is that? Just to give you an idea of how powerful this code is. So you can create very simple to very complex projects. I gotta be honest, this thing has been helping us code applications, but you do have to know a little bit of coding. But if you go into this with not knowing any coding and having this thing explain to you, like, I don't understand, what did we just do? Is there anything I can do differently? You can do it here. Now, I'm gonna show you another use case, which is probably the most powerful in here. The fact that this is connected to X, and I wanted to like basically get on X and grow my following and kind of go into a similar kind of post of what I should do and how I should post and so forth and so on. This thing is the best resource. So for instance, I'm gonna go in here and I want to grow my X account audience and become very good at posting and growing my audience in X. Here is my website for reference. Please give me some posts, some other like channels, and a full and detailed plan on what I need to do. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and grab my site real quick, all right? And we're gonna like let it loose. I'm gonna give it very little. And again, I should follow the prompt. Well, you know what actually I'm gonna do? I'm gonna first help me make the best prompt to engage with Grok. Okay, let's see what it does because I want to improve my prompt a little bit and I want X to give me the best it can possibly give me. So I'm going to let it think about how can I interact with it better for it to give me a better response. For research, I got to be honest, this thing is pretty powerful because it adds that X component to it and the timing of it is pretty fast. So it goes through these quite a bit. I'm going to let this thing think and we're going to be right back. All right, now it told me this is a polished prompt. I'm aiming to grow my X account to audience by 1,000 followers in 6 months and get really good at posting engaging content. My website is this. It's about marketing tech solutions. Please create 5 sample X posts, Taylor. Recommend 3 similar X accounts I can learn from and provide a detailed step-by-step to boost my audience and growth. Use my exact website and my website content for context analyze. This is amazing, right? So I'm going to grab this whole thing, come over here, Control C. Let me just clean up this weird thing. And I go ahead and I'm gonna let it loose. And the reason being it's gonna search other websites. It's gonna go through a whole bunch of things. It's gonna help me follow other different people that are doing what I'm doing again, which is very smart in the realm of X because I wanna make sure that we have it in here and we're gonna go through this and it's gonna be pretty badass. So, and it already gave me 3. I already see from some of the details, thinkings that it's gonna have, it's already going through this and it's going to make it a little bit better. So as we go through it and it's thinking, I love that it goes and it's pulling all these different sites and it has a content calendar. Wow, this is gonna be pretty cool. 5 simple X posts tailored to your brand, struggling with repetitive tasks, discover how automation can free up your time with boost efficiency, that are driven, learn how to leverage analytics for better campaign results. You know what I'm saying? Some of these are kind of corny. Okay, I didn't even know there was a Mark tick today. So 20 followers, these are kind of small. HubSpot is huge, obviously we know that. And then we have Marketo. All right, 0 followers and everything else. Step-by-step plan to boost your audience, define target audience and everything else. This is kind of okay. I gotta be honest, we did this separately and it worked a little bit better. I'm gonna say, okay, let's shift this to AI in marketing and let's make these posts punchier and better and for more engagement, all right? And again, I didn't like it, and it's okay not to like something when you first get it. And sometimes, everybody filters all these things out. I like to actually show you when things are not the way I want them, so then you know how I'm engaging with this to make it a little bit better. And the reason why is because, like, again, at the end of the day, I kind of didn't like anything that I was saying. It wasn't really punchy. It would not be something I click on. So now let's get better results on there. And you can go back and forth and have it make it search X even better. Now, it gave me people that had like 20 followers and everything else. Not really where I want to go for my experts. I want to go with people that have a lot more followers and everything that we have. AI makes your emails feel like a warm hug to each subscriber. How are you using AI to email marketing? That's pretty cool. Tired of repetitive tasks? Let's chatbots tackle FAQs while you strategize? Awesome. All right. All under 200 characters for quick, easy reads and easy shares. They grab attention and everything else. Timing matters. Posting when to post. Let's get started. And I'm going to say, okay, now I'm going to switch to deep research. Okay, now research people with a lot of followers that are in this space, and let's add that to the plan so we follow in some of the great things they have and engaging posts. All misspelled. Look, I brutalized that spelling in there. All right, we're going to let that deep think for a second. All right, and here we go. Sample posts. Keep me the same ones. Again, these 3 have significant followers, but again, they don't have significant followers. Oh, it's private. Maybe because I have to open up to see, and please follow us in there. It actually tells us what to do here. Sample posts. So now it gives me a pretty comprehensive analysis here. And it goes now to, it added another one, a little bit better followers and everything else, keeping me to the MarTech, which is opening my eyes up that I might need to change on my website to be more focused on AI. And now here we go, all kinds of different posts and numbers and everything else. And I can keep going back and doing all the things that I need to in order to grow. Now, I don't know about you guys, but then pretty powerful. You saw that this thing's a no joke behind it. It is free. So far, we've been blasting this thing. No limitation alerts have come up. Free for now until, again, they can't offer for free anymore, but it's definitely something you want to explore. And this thing is super, super powerful. So hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we'll see you in the next one.